All right, y'all can have a seat. We as pastors reviewed the surveys and read your comments as well from this last week. So thank you for that. We had around 450 responses, and we as pastors just love this church, and we are so grateful for your input, your encouragement, and your prayers. It really is making all the difference, and I'm so glad that we're in this together as a church family with brothers and sisters whom I love. Our plan at this point, so I want to tell you our plan and then just share some details around it, and more details will come. But our plan at this point is to move inside for 2 services beginning on October 4th, and to make sure that we're taking appropriate precautions in those services. So as the weather is moving toward getting cold, and we're thinking about what to do through the winter, it doesn't seem best to continue meeting outside, nor does it seem best to revert to live streaming only. So it seems like in some ways this is an inevitable decision, and the issue is more timing and how to do it. There are restaurants and theaters and casinos in our state that are currently operating indoors on a percentage capacity. And given the greater importance of the Sunday gathering, we want to do the same. And we believe we are proceeding cautiously in creating environments in our services in which people will not be at greater risk than they are in other settings. There are steps we will continue taking to promote safety and caution, even though the CDC has been clear that their guidelines for churches are suggestions. They've said, quote, federal government may not prescribe standards for interactions of faith communities. And the governor has said that his color-coded restrictions and the July 15th targeted mitigation order do not apply to religious gatherings. We desire to proceed with caution. That's the reason that we are voluntarily having multiple services when we move inside with limited capacity. It's the reason we're not having children's ministry, rearranging seats to ensure social distancing, having people register for seating, looking to avoid shared surfaces, and promoting the use of masks among the congregation. Regardless of your view on how effective those measures are, we hope that you see our heart in seeking to be safe as we gather. 95% of those who filled out the survey said that they are not exceptions to the face covering order, and that it applies to them. And the overwhelming majority of you said that you are eager or willing to wear a mask. It was less than 5% said, which is just under 20 people, said that they would be opposed to wearing a mask. So that's an important part of what makes us comfortable moving inside, is the eagerness and willingness to wear masks. So we will be encouraging the use of masks by, again, 2 services. We'll have a 9 o'clock service in which masks are required. So everyone present will be wearing a mask the entire service, with the exception of those who are on the stage. And then we'll have an 11 o'clock service with masks recommended. We do want to clarify that the mask recommended service is intentionally not a mask optional service, which would be contrary to the face covering order and the advice of specialists. So when we talk about mask recommended, we realize you could interpret that any number of ways. That is not a wink, wink, feel free to do whatever you prefer with a mask service. We want to honor the order at this time by asking, by advising, by recommending, by encouraging those who attend to please wear masks. In all services, so that you know, pastors and others who serve in key roles will be wearing masks whenever we are not on the stage. There will be signs and public comments advising and encouraging people to wear masks, in keeping with that second service being a mask recommended service. So it's a sincere recommendation from the pastors that we hope, really the desire is to lead to a service where even those who would rather not wear masks and prefer to not wear masks choose to do so. It's our expectation that those who don't wear masks would do so for reasons of health or personal conviction, including those who have said that they wouldn't come at all if masks are required, or if there are small children and those with disabilities and other exceptions. The reason that we as pastors are recommending masks is because we want to be cautious in light of all that we don't know. We want to be considerate of others, and we want to give appropriate weight to state guidelines and orders where possible. It will be especially helpful for as many as possible to wear masks when going to and from their seats, and especially during the singing, most important during that time. However, we do want you to keep in mind that in the mask recommended service, there will be some not wearing masks for legitimate reasons, and we want them to feel welcome, and we urge you to not judge each other over masks, as we have encouraged that all along. So if there are questions, again, about how we're thinking about that, and I wanted to spend some time on the mask thing because I know that that is it's a question that many of you have. One other thing I want to mention, and then we're done, and this is from the survey. A good number of people who are not currently attending are doing so for reasons unrelated to health and risk. And so this was the thing. We see that we know there are some who generally are not attending for reasons related to health and medical reasons and safety and risk. There are others who are generally not attending for other reasons. We want those who are choosing to stay home for health reasons and as a matter of precaution to feel our full and total support in that decision. It was interesting, 40% of you said that you are either high risk for COVID or you live with someone who is. That's 40%. And so we want to totally support those who, for matters of health and risk, choose to stay home. But if you are among those who are not attending due to other considerations, if you prefer the experience at home, or managing children is difficult, or any other reasons, we want to encourage you to consider attending in person on Sundays and prioritizing our gathering together. There was a Gospel Coalition article this week written by a mother with 5 boys. It was entitled "Prioritize Church Even When There's No Child Care." And it talks about what it means to prioritize corporate worship even when it's inconvenient, and we're thinking it would be a lot easier or preferable to just tune in online. Here's one paragraph from that article. "But if we only prioritize corporate worship when it's convenient, our children will learn to do the same. We're training our children in their own worship of God by the way we worship during this really difficult season. We have a unique opportunity," she says, "to teach our children about the importance of corporate worship. Let's not waste it." So I thought that was a good exhortation. It was a helpful reminder for me. Yes and amen. We have a unique opportunity. Let's not waste it. Again, that assumes that we are comfortable with gathering. So the live stream will continue. It will be the first service, the 9 o'clock one, that we plan on live stream. We really want to serve those of you who are staying at home. And if you are someone who wants to hear more about how the pastors are processing these things, we spent no small amount of time discussing these things. And as you can imagine, just as the church doesn't all think about these things the same way, so the pastors are not all contributing the same voice and perspective to these things. And yet we believe that we are walking in unity, and we believe that God's leading us as we're making these decisions together. But if you have questions or want to hear more, we'd love to interact with you, and you can reach out to a pastor. Let's be praying for our gatherings. Let's be praying that God continues to meet with us, that we encounter his presence, that he would enable us to continue to walk in unity and love. I said before, and I've said last week, for kids to be here is really no problem at all. as we're preaching through Joseph in these next couple of months, it will be great to have kids here as they are able. We are not going to be distracted by them. We are, as a church family together, seeking God's face and engaging Him during this time. So thanks for being here. Thanks for helping to make that happen. I love you all very much, and I continue to pray for our experience together as a church. God bless you and have a great day.